Well, for more, Farhan Mujahid Clark joins us now from Doha. He's the Secretary General of the think tank Kashmir Civitas. Thanks so much for speaking to us. You've actually had some very personal experience, particularly with this communications blackout. The government now says that landlines are fully restored and that communications are mostly back in order. Is that what you're seeing?
Absolutely not, Andrea. That's a complete falsehood. And this just follows a pattern that the Indian government has kind of employed in regards to its subjugation of the Kashmiri people. And now it's trying to manage the fallout by sending these mixed messages across the world of we are slowly returning to normalcy. We're going to do a phased type of reconnecting of the landlines and the internet. And none of this is actually true. I have not been able to contact my family. I have not been able to contact relatives. And I have hundreds and thousands of people that I know in various capacities that have not been able to connect to loved ones and friends in the occupied territories of Kashmir.
Okay. Farhan, do you think this lockdown and communications blackout, though, has served, in at least some sense, India's goal of quelling a violent backlash, or is it just postponing one and potentially exacerbating it?
I think you're absolutely right. It's going to exacerbate it. You see, I just want to put this in context. This is the longest standing issue on the UN agenda, the longest unresolved conflict. This is the most militarized space on the planet. Genocide Watch, a very reputable NGO, has issued a genocide alert. That should be alarming for the entire world. A genocide alert for what is happening in Indian-administered Kashmir. So the world should take notice that you have a xenophobic, extremely radical Hindutva government within India that is prone on what their own, they're using the term final solution, which is grotesque, by the way. And Kashmiris find it grotesque. But I don't believe that Indians expected this kind of a backlash to happen. They did not expect young Kashmiris throughout the world to galvanize and write opinion piece and on news channels, media, all kinds, books. They are confronting this. And the supporters of Kashmiri's right to self-determination are supporting this. And I think it's taken India quite aback. But they can't walk back from this. They will not walk back from this. And that's what my concern is.
Actually, I do have another minute with you, I'm being told. So I wanted to ask you, I mean, I realize you feel very strongly for the cause of the people of India-administered Kashmir and how you believe they've suffered because of India's actions. But is there a case somehow to be made for terrorists, as India says, you know, using the internet and means of communication to mobilize and indoctrinate other dangerous people?
You know, this is a very tiring and a completely red herring. As a matter of fact, if you read the reports that were issued by the Indian government 6 months preceding the abrogation of Article 370, their own report said that there was no infiltration coming from Pakistan. There was no sense of any real type of military resistance against India. But what India has done, really, it's shot itself in the foot. You now have all the theatricality of what India has been doing for the last 70 years thrown out the window, and you really have a military occupation. More than, really, and I want to be clear about this, estimates vary, but you're looking at close to 1 million soldiers, including what were already there and those that have been sent recently. So that's 1 million soldiers for 7 to 8 million Kashmiris in the valley. That is unheard of anywhere, and it is a recipe for war. And I'm afraid it seems like there's no other way.
Farhan Mujahid Clark, we're going to have to leave it there. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us.